Hello and greetings from Iceland. Today I will be talking about the seismic activity that increased a whole lot while I was making my last update, but dropped again while I was making this update, which in a way describes the situation here in Iceland. So I decided to make this little sightseeing tour while I talk about the earthquake action, or the last video before I go to the Reykjanes peninsula tomorrow hopefully, since the weather is getting better, so I can use the tour to do some filming. And my first planned stopover is this highland glacier, Langjökull. It is the third largest ice cap in Iceland, and there is a little known volcano under it, and we hardly get any earthquakes there, or until this summer. So this might be the biggest surprise of the year, and it's not the easiest place to be filming. And it's only a summer road up there that might close any day now, so this will be my last attempt for a while to get some footage from Langjökull. I did actually get some bits last year that I'm showing you now, but today I have a new drone with more range and a zoom lens. And let's move now to Iceland's largest glacier, Vatnajökull, and a statement that one of our scientists made the other day. And I've actually mentioned this before. He was saying that there is possibly increased activity in a mantle plume under Iceland, and the magma that came up after the second half of the first eruption on the Reykjanes peninsula resembles the chemical composition of the magma from the volcanoes like Bárðarbunga, Grímsvötn and Katla. Bárðarbunga is Iceland's hotspot, and just a little further south we have the Grímsvötn volcanic system. And in this next drone shot, we will be looking at Vatnajökull from this direction, along the Laki craters from the 1783 eruption that originated in Grímsvötn, and the inflation in Grímsvötn seems to be speeding up, like the seismic activity. And after numerous false alarms that I have documented like every 6 months or so, it looks as something more is going on now. And Bárðarbunga is also quite active. And it's actually noticeable that shortly before the earthquake that triggered the build-up to the last eruption in July, there was a magnitude 4 earthquake in Bárðarbunga. But it is not for me to say if it means anything, or how Reykjanes is connected to the plumbing system. Grímsvötn is, however, a very active system and rather innocent since the 1783 Laki disaster. Eruptions there are rather frequent. They come up under the glacier, relatively harmless, and that's how we want to keep things. Frequent, small, and not dangerous. We don't need another Laki disaster. And when I turn my camera away from the Laki craters, I'm facing Mýrdalsjökull glacier. And under that glacier we have the volcano Katla. And this area between the glaciers is really something else, or the greatest disaster story of Iceland since the settlement 1100 years ago. This is a place where Icelandic volcanoes hold several world records from historical eruptions, like the largest volcanic canyon and the largest lava field on Earth that originated somewhere around here. And when those systems wake up, the rest of Europe won't need the internet to know that something is wrong. It's just something in the air. And it's hard to see what eruption came from what system around here, but it is no problem to see the devastation that those eruptions leave behind. But there is beauty to be found here as well, in many forms, and life as well, like in those 52 fishing lakes between the fissures. So what I've been doing recently is to finish to process some of the images and videos from this tour for the stories that I plan to tell you this winter, or the full stories from those 3 dominating systems around there. And as for the Katla volcano, it made it to the news every now and then this summer, but it seems to have cooled down. But we know that things can change fast since Katla is long overdue. And I'm going to finish the glacier hopping part of this video by Langjökull glacier, where we still have this unusual earthquakes by this enormous sealed volcano. And according to experts, those earthquakes might be associated with the action on the Reykjanes peninsula. And after listening to many fine people talk about this, My conclusion is that the science community just doesn't know what's going on there. And that's just how it is sometimes. So let's move a bit further south, where things are more obvious. Or this little hill that has been shaking recently, but those earthquakes now seems to have faded out, and the experts seems to assume that this is just a part of a bigger picture, or widespread seismic activity triggered by the influx of magma at 16 kilometers depth under the peninsula. So in general we see the seismic activity popping up here and there, just like before the first 3 eruptions, like there was a magnitude 3.2 by Lake Klevarvatn a few days ago, a few earthquakes in the Sulphur Mountains, and then in Grímsvötn, earthquakes that we should be concerned about, like I spoke about in my last video. And while making that video, the earthquakes moved a bit further west, and I was actually filming there in 2021. So I have that location on film. They take place just behind this little nice shield volcano formation that is only around 80 meters high, and behind that volcano we see some nasty fractures, or just about where a magma intrusion was detected in the year 2020. So action around here is nothing new. And I'm gonna use the Google tool now to zoom out. First we face the southwest corner and fly over what might be the hottest part of the peninsula, turn around by the island Eldey, and overlook the youngest part of Iceland. Not even a sheep with a shred of self-respect allows herself to hang around here. But as for me, there is something about this place that makes me come back again and again. It might be something about the energy around here, or perhaps the story that will take place here someday, changing the landscape forever, once again. So let's move on and follow the fissure swarm, and all the way to the earthquakes that were detected yesterday. And we will move across the peninsula, and on the way we see some of the tasks that I have in mind for the 360 camera, or to let it sink down in some of the fractures around here. They are wide and deep, but I need some wiring system and the lights first, but it's not on my priority list, it's more for the nerd list. And feel free to send me suggestions if you have any experience with this, or dropping cameras into fractures on the plate boundaries for fun. We see the fractures take a little turn here, just by the village Vogar, and from here we simply follow the airport road to Reykjavik, where the fissure swarm will disappear under lava on the way. I'm going straight to the place where the earthquakes were detected yesterday. They were small, insignificant, and most likely just some of the many earthquakes that we get due to this tension in the crust, since we have magma underway. And this fault where the earthquakes took place, it's a bit too close to the city for my taste, and around 70% of the nation lives on this peninsula, or just by it. And it's of course a bummer, and I'm of course not talking about the volcanoes, I'm talking about the wind. So if Mother Nature decides to be extra kind, she will pile up some nice mountains around here to make some shelter for the people in the city. They really need it. But Icelanders are, however, known for their great adaptability, especially in Reykjavik, where local hairdressers have developed their own Icelandic style that is very suitable for the Icelandic climate. And this Reykjavik style, it ensures a certain stability and appearance, and what the future brings is still uncertain, new mountains or not. But those earthquakes were, however, a good reminder, telling us how close we are to the plate boundaries, so I will be using the upcoming trip to gather some more footage from around there, because we are finally into some debates about the building policy in the capital region, or where we should build it into the future. And that's actually fun to watch, because I've been hearing politicians talk like geologists with decades of experience, and a worthy subject for the channel in the future. And with that, I'm sending you best regards from the volcano island, Iceland.